Hello, my name's Piero Martinez, and today I'll be interviewing my housemate Sean. Unlike a lot of my classmates that are probably gonna interview someone from the Middle East or someone with some type of connection there, I'm gonna interview my housemate Sean, who is very well informed about the new presidency, and we are gonna talk. I'm gonna ask him a couple questions about what his opinions are about the Middle East and the new President Trump and certain issues that are going on in the country today. So here's my housemate Sean. Hey, how you doing today, Sean?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. All right. So during Obama's term as president, how do you describe the relationship with the Middle East?
The relationship with the Middle East obviously isn't good. It hasn't been good for a while. Ever since Clinton and/or Bush's presidency, with the rise of radical terrorism, the tensions in the Middle East haven't been good. Especially with the war in Afghanistan that Bush started in 2003, that just kind of made the entire region completely unstable, and that allowed for groups like Al Qaeda and ISIS and the group in northern Africa to kind of come in and possibly take power. And I think the situation that's happening in Syria right now is a huge signal of that. Syria was not necessarily a stable government, but it was somewhat stable enough where there wasn't infighting, there wasn't slaughtering of civilians, there wasn't a complete war being waged. But now, it wasn't necessarily Obama's fault, but Obama didn't necessarily make it better, but he didn't make it worse at the same time. So it kind of just stayed stagnated. And then this allowed ISIS to kind of come in and take control of certain parts of the region. But Obama just recently he deployed a bunch of soldiers out there to kind of train the Iraqi special forces. And in doing that, ISIS is slowly losing ground, which is obviously going to help tensions better.
Okay. So, do you think Muslim/Middle Eastern women will benefit from Trump's presidency?
No, they won't. I mean, Trump ran his campaign on marginalizing pretty much every single group besides the white male. So whether or not you're Muslim, you're from the Middle East or you're from here, you could have people that were born, your grandparents or great-grandparents could have been born here, but the effect's going to be the same whether or not you came on a plane yesterday or you've been here for 40 years. He ran his campaign kind of on polarizing minorities, but there could be a bright side in that the way he ran his campaign and the way he's talked about the first 100 days, he's kind of softened his edge a little bit. Granted, he still says that the wall is going to be built, but I mean, there's huge speculation around that. But his policy explanations have kind of dimmed down from what he said during his campaign, because he ran his campaign on the idea that the more radical he gets, the more chances he has for the people that are kind of fed up with the government and fed up with the system to kind of vote in a new president who's going to change all that. And by being overly radical and overly ambitious in his ideas on anti-immigration, on quelling all the gun violence, that's how Trump ran his campaign.
All right. So, do you think the Middle Eastern will benefit, or there'll be negative effects? When Trump takes presidency.
I think there's going to be negative effects. So I think the biggest issue is going to be Trump's connection with Putin, because him and Vladimir Putin have been seen together. Trump has said that Putin's a great leader. Putin rooted for Trump during the election, was very ecstatic while after he was elected, and then there's been speculation that Russia has been dropping bombs on Syria, been dropping bombs in the Middle East, and Russia has consistently on and on defied the UN, defied sanctions, defied any hopes of world peace, because Putin kind of just does his own thing. And I think the connection between Trump and Putin is really going to cause more of a deep-rooted issue than something on the surface, because what people are expecting as soon as Trump comes into office is going to be this like huge nuclear war. He's going to send hundreds of thousands of troops over, and really that's not what's going to happen. But the distrust that the Middle East is going to have in the United States because we elected someone with the ideologies that he has, especially in today's day and age, that's going to cause a lot more problems than it is solutions.
Okay. Do you think the Muslim culture in America will be affected by Trump in a negative or positive way?
It could really go either way. If Trump does what he said he was going to do when he first ran his campaign, then it's going to be much more negative, obviously, because he wants to deport people, whether or not they've been here. He wants to deport all illegals, so obviously the culture will take a hit. But it could also work in a positive way because as groups like Black Lives Matter and the LGBTQ plus group has seen that when Trump started gaining traction, their groups kind of banded together and kind of showed that if they pursue their own ideas and show their culture and kind of be who they are and kind of try to fight through all the adversity, it could have them coming through the end stronger. Which hopefully that happens. Obviously, no one wants to see an entire culture of over 1 billion people just kind of dissipate because one man was elected into office. So honestly, it's a toss-up. Depends how Trump's policies affect the Middle East. Because I feel personally, if there's no deportation, which I don't think there will be, I think the Muslim culture will continue to grow because they're going to band together and feel like it's them against the world. And when that happens, that's when patriotism in 1776 happened. That's when, during the Civil War, that's how the North won. They kind of rallied together. So I feel like it's when you're fighting against adversity, their culture will kind of shine through.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Sean. Those are all the questions we have for you today. Thank you guys for listening, and that'll be all. Have a good one.